My name is Dr. Walter T. Richardson. The T is important because my dad is Walter H. Richardson, and he is also a part of the Miami fabric. I was born here in 1948 over town in Christian Hospital, which was the only black hospital at that time. And my doctor's name was Dr. Sawyer, who was the first, if not the first, one of the first black OBGYNs in Dade County. And he was part owner of the Mary Elizabeth Hotel, which was also an icon back in the days. So I was raised up right here in Miami. I was one of the first blacks to go to Holmes Elementary School, located in Liberty City. And so I consider myself a native Miamian. Went to church in Liberty City, went to elementary school in Liberty City, played in Liberty City in the projects. And when I was I guess between 8 and 9 years old, in the 3rd grade, my family bought a home in Opelika, which is about 10 minutes away from Liberty City, but we still commuted to Liberty City on a daily basis because the church was in Liberty City. My dad was a minister there and was also very involved in the community. When things were changing during days of integration and segregation, we had our mainstay in Liberty City. Went to high school at Opelika, North Dade High School, which was the last of the black high schools built in Dade County. It was built in 1957, had its first high school graduation class in 1960, and I was in the 7th graduating class, 1966, and unfortunately, that was the last class that graduated from North Dade High School. We were phased out in 1966 after I graduated into a junior high school and eventually to a middle school. So I got my education right here in Dade County. Holmes Elementary, and then Bunch Park Elementary from the 3rd grade to the 6th grade, and then North Dade Junior Senior High School was where I got my high school education. Happened to also be a part of the first group of blacks that were identified as having high stay nines, whatever that word means. And we were allowed in our senior year, those of us that had fulfilled the requirements for graduation, to attend Miami-Dade College at that time. And that was the first dual enrollment program, and I was a part of that. So by the time I graduated high school and got ready to go to college, August of 1966, many of us already had sufficient enough credits to be second semester freshman. I attended Florida A&M University, FAMU as it's called, for a while. Came back home, did not finish my education there. Came back home and continued my studies at Miami-Dade College, and eventually graduated with my bachelor's degree some years later from St. Thomas University. As a minister, I am a 5th generation minister. My great-great-grandfather was a slave who was a minister. His son, same name, Frank Richardson, was also a minister and built the first church in Anson County, North Carolina, after slavery was abolished. The church was built in 1870. The church still stands. Pleasant Hill Baptist Church. And my grandfather was a deacon there. My dad was a Sunday school superintendent there, and all of them involved in ministry. My dad is now the bishop of his church, and I'm a part of that ministry now. So I'm a 5th generation minister, and glad to be a part of that. I had a major religious experience following high school, and followed the tradition of my father and the Richardson side of the family. I got trained as a minister. Initially, my major was music. I'm a musician as well. But being called into the ministry, as we call it in our culture, I got the formal education required for me to be proficient in my trade. And that happened right here in Miami.